Okay, welcome. This is a review of the homework for pre-calc. Pre-calc. Nate, pay attention. Nate, pay attention. Okay, Joe, we have something in store for you later. So pre-calc review.
Wait for me. Oh, Toto, you don't think it's possible?
Joe, stop singing. Okay, all kidding aside, let's look at the homework. Homework answers. So, see what we got circled here. 14 through 34. Let me make this a little bigger so everybody can see. All right, 14 through. Okay, so we have answers here. 14 that's negative infinity. 16 is negative infinity. 20 is negative infinity. Okay. So that's negative infinity, infinity, negative infinity. Sorry about that. Joe, stop talking. Okay. So, looking at the next question. Sorry. Moving along here. So 22. Answer to 22 is both are 5. 24, both are 2. You can pause the video anytime if I'm going too fast here. Both are 0. If you don't know how to do these, you can ask one of the kids in the class how to do them. If you have a question.
Running away from me. Oh, Toto.
Joe, stop talking. Joe, stop talking.
Somewhere
Yes, Joe.
over the rainbow.
Stop talking. Okay, so that's the answer to 30. Negative 1/2 x, and x equals 3. 32 is x equals pi over 2 plus or minus n times pi. That's just adding multiples of 180 to it. So 90 degrees plus 180 plus another 180 and so on and so forth. Okay, 34. I think we did in class. Well, the answer is not up here. Hold on a second. 34 is like the previous one here. That's the answer to 32. So 34 is really cosine over sine times 1 over cosine. So again, what's going to happen is you're going to have problems with values of sine that are 0, and that's 90, 270, 0. I'm sorry. Cancel that. When sine is 0, shame on me. Shame on me. When sine is 0, it's going to be 0 degrees, 180, 360, and a multiple of 0. All right, moving on to the next section. These graph matchings. 35 is A, 37 is D, 36 is C, and 38 is B. Okay, and the rest of the homework I believe is up here. So these answers are no. Okay, find a problem. Yes. Okay, so I think we did these two. Hard to see because the board is so big, but no, we didn't do this one. I'm sorry, we didn't do these. Okay, so that's the homework for last night. Going back again, some people always have to go back and see. Those are your answers. Both are 5, both are 2, both are 0. And these answers are right here. believe answer number 34, is that at the bottom? No, it's not. Okay, so that's last night's homework. You can get a grade on it on Monday. All right, next I want to go over the review questions, but first a word from our sponsor.
Hi. Soto, are you ready? Good girl. Good boy.
Okay, so this is the practice quiz. Now that we are all scarred for life after that Somewhere Over the Rainbow singing. Of course, I played it a little longer after I paused your video. So we're going to go through these answers. You'll be given the answers to these for review. So by the substitution method, we're just going to put in 1. So 1 squared minus 3 times 1 to the third power. And that's going to be 1 minus 3, which is negative 2 to the third power, which is negative 8, I believe. Next question, just going to plug in a 7, the square root of 7, put 7s in each here, 49 plus 56 plus 16. And I'm going to need a calculator for that, I think. Apparently that comes out to be 121, 90, 15, or 5, 121. Square root of 121, which equals 11. Okay, and this is the positive square root. All right, up next is this question here. The top does not break up, so it's just going to be 49 plus 49 over 7 plus 7, which is going to get you, well, this is 7 squared on the bottom, and the top is going to be, it says it's going to be 7. Am I doing this right? I believe so. Okay. I'm going to go. Sorry about that. Okay. 49 plus 49, 80. So, yeah. 49 plus 49 is 98. Divided by 14 is 7. Sorry about that. Okay. Next one, you're just going to put the 2 in. 2 cubed plus 5 times 2 squared minus 7 times 2 plus 1. And that answer should be 15. Okay. Next one, determine the limit algebraically if it exists. This is a little bit tougher because you want to do it algebraically. You could just do it by the graph. We know that when we put in values for each, for x, we're going to get, and they're going to be centered around 11. So if I put in 12 and 13 and 10 and 9, we're going to get different values for each one. So the absolute value of 11 minus x over 11 minus x, so 11 minus 13, the absolute value of 11 minus 13 over 11 minus 13 is going to give us the absolute value of negative 2 over negative 2, which gives us 2 over negative 2, which is negative 1. But then if I put a 12 in, the same thing's going to happen. 11 is going to be error. And then my 10 is going to get me 11 minus 10 over 11 minus 10. And that's going to be 1 over 1, which is going to get me a 1. Did I put a 1 here? That's wrong. So the limits don't equal each other, so it does not exist. Sorry about that. One side is negative 1, the other side is 1. It does not exist. Or no limit. Number 6. So looking at 6, we can factor an x out of the top. X squared plus 12x minus 5. When you factor that out, these are going to cancel. And the limit is going to, x is going to 0. So you're going to end up with negative 5 over 5 when you put zeros in for everything after you cancel the x's. And that's going to get us, negative 5 over 5 is negative 1 for 6. This. Okay. Number 7, you're going to have to get a common denominator. Common denominator is 8x plus 8. 8x plus 8. So the first one needs an 8 on the bottom, so you give one to the top. The second one needs a x plus 8 on top. And don't forget about that x on the bottom. Okay, a lot of 8s in here. Okay, when we do the distribution on the top, we're going to get 8 minus x minus 8 over 8x plus 8. And that whole thing's going to be divided by x. And that's kind of messy, but we're just going to keep going with this. So we're going to left with negative x over 8x plus 8 divided by x, which is the same thing as times 1 over x. That's going to cancel, and we're going to be left with negative 1 over 8x plus 8. And then when we sub in the 0, we're going to get negative 1 over 8, 0 plus 8. So that looks like it's negative 1 over 64. Negative 1 over 64. Okay. Number 8, it has the limit as x approaches 0 from the right and left. The function itself approaches 0 also. So this is what your quiz will look like tomorrow. As x approaches 0 here, again, from the left and the right, the function's doing the same thing. That also is 0. Now we have find the left-hand limit and the right-hand limit approaching negative 1. So negative 1's right here. As we approach from the left-hand side, the function approaches 2. That's from the left-hand side of negative 1. And as x approaches the right-hand side of negative 1, excuse me, it comes way down here at negative 7. I'm sorry, did I say negative 2, not negative 2, and negative 7. Okay, negative 2, negative 7. Okay, next question. What's the left-hand limit? The left-hand limit approaching negative 2, it looks like it's about 1.5. My answer sheet says 1.3, but approximately 1.5, 1.3. Okay, so you're going on the left side of 2, and the function wants to be at 1.3. Okay, moving along here. As x approaches negative, or 1 from the negative to the left side, so it's just coming along here, and from the left-hand side, it wants to be, looks like it's a 2. Okay, looking at this graph here. Again, feel free to pause the video anytime or reverse it if kids have questions. 13. As x from the right-hand side of 1, right-hand side of 1 is 3. Moving on to 14, x approaches 0 from both sides. This limit looks like it doesn't exist, or it's negative infinity, or you could say does not exist. It doesn't say 1, that says does not exist. Find the indicated limit of number 15. The right-hand side of 0, this is a little bit trickier. If we have 0, the right-hand side of 0 would be 1 and 2. So if I put a 1 and a 2 in here, for 9x over the absolute value of x, I'm going to get, so this gets me error, but this one here gets me 9 over 1, which is 9. This one gets me 2 times 9 over 2, which also is 9. So the right-hand side of that limit is 9. Left-hand side will be something different. This limit here, remember, now we're approaching 0. We're not approaching infinity. So this has 7 times the sine x over x, and 7/4 times that. We know that this is going to be 1, so it should be just 7/4. Moving along to this question here. If it exists, we're going to infinity now. You have a higher power on the bottom, so this is small over big, and this is going to be 0. 0. Next one's a little bit trickier. You have a graph, asymptotes at -2. Hopefully you know it looks like this and this. As we approach -2 from the left, this graph goes -2 from the left. The graph goes down to -infinity. Okay, working on question number 19. This one's a little bit different. You might have to graph this one because I don't have a trick for it. Oh, well, actually, we do have a trick for it. The bottom is going much faster, so the top's just doing its own thing, but the bottom is getting larger and larger and larger, getting bigger. So we have basically small over big, and that's going to get me a 0. Could also graph it. Okay, 20 is a little tricky. So on 20, be careful, because the powers are negative powers. So really, the -5x squared is on top, and the -4x to the first is on the bottom. This is big over small, and we're going to infinity, so that's going to be infinity for 20. So be careful of that one. That's a trick question. Find the asymptotes. When does x squared minus 81 equal 0? Well, it's at plus or minus the square root of 81, which is plus or minus 9. So this has vertical asymptotes at plus or minus 9. Looking at 22, looks like the same question as 18. We just need the other side, which looks like it's going to -2 from the from the right-hand side, so that's going to be infinity for 22. Infinity. Okay, the last two questions. 23 or 3 questions. 3, you're doing the tangent graph. If you know your tangent graph, so this is 180, 90. Your tangent graph is going to look like this. I believe I'm drawing this right. And the right side of 90 degrees, the right side of 90 degrees is going to, the right side of 90 degrees would be this side. It's going to -infinity. 24, asymptotes is 7 minus 7 is going to get you a 0, so that's 7. Okay, and final limit, if it exists, we're going. Okay, so 25 going to infinity, so this is 1 minus, or -1 plus 6 over big, 2 minus 1 over really big, so this really is -1 over 2, and those are 0, so it looks like it's -1/2. So that'll be the quiz review. Sorry, Joe, if I embarrassed you. Have a good quiz on Friday. God bless you. Everyone, not just Joe.